So
Mother-in-laws
I
have
used to be part of those people that used to pray for their mother-in-laws to die.
I did
before.
not pray like that.
Okay. Thank God you're a good person. My mother-in-law is alive.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Wealthy Place. I'm not alone today. I have Mama Dawn with me here today. My lovely mama, married to my papa. You know?
I remain Dawn. You know the mama.
Okay, Mrs. Dawn.
Okay, that's better.
Okay. Welcome, Mama, to the
Thank
Wealthy
you very
Place.
much.
We're
Thank
happy
you.
to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Like you've seen the title, Expectations versus Reality of Married Life,
Yes.
of Marriage. Mama, how long have you been married now?
6 years.
Okay.
6 years
So-
going down to 7. I need to clap for me.
Yes, you are clapping. So that's to say you have a lot of experiences.
Okay.
I also have some experiences. So we're here to share our experiences with you so that you know that it's not peculiar to you only. It's not unique. It also happened to other persons and we are still thriving in our marriages.
Yes.
So let us start with you.
Okay. First of all, I think the very first reality that dawned on me was the kind of person I married.
Okay.
I wanted to marry someone who had 6 packs,
Okay.
tall,
Okay.
you know the drama we expect as women.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Tall, dark and handsome. Thank you. 10 over 10. It was me.
Yes.
And then my husband wasn't any of that.
Yes.
So that was like the first reality for me that okay, so this is not the kind of person I'm marrying. Then second reality was also that we got married and then I was expecting, like you said, breakfast in bed.
Yeah.
I was expecting that,
The romance will continue.
Thank you.
Honeymoon will be forever.
We'll have sex everywhere.
Hey.
We'll have sex in the kitchen. Thanks to Nollywood, thanks to Hollywood. They'll make us feel as if.
Sex is part of marriage. That's what makes marriage good.
And then we got married. And then the very first reality I had was we had to work on our relationship with each other.
Yes.
Because, I tell people that before you get married, these butterflies, they're always available.
There.
Once you see his call, you know that you just sit down. At some point, my father used to complain. My father would say, "You're always on call every single moment." I said, "Mama, like this, you understand? Maybe
Yes, you're not in love. Yeah, you're
But
never
now,
in love.
I understand
How many
better."
times does he call you? And then how many times do you see the call you are smiling?
And you're smiling.
No.
Because you eventually get married,
Yes.
and then life hits you hard.
Yes.
You have bills to pay, you have children to take care of, you have a whole lot of things to do. So we had to intentionally work on our relationship with ourselves.
With yourself, yeah.
Because we now realize that we got married and then we didn't spend so much time as we're spending with each other when, yes,
Before marriage.
of course, we understand that we're spending more time on phone because our relationship more of a long distance relationship.
Okay.
But we eventually got married and then we're not spending so much time with each other. And I was going to ask myself, this man
Does not love me again?
Thank you.
Does he not love
And
me
I was asking
again?
myself what's happening. And then I now, thank God I read some books. I realized that what's really happening is common with marriages.
Yes.
So what we were expecting or what I was expecting was not what I was seeing.
Getting, yes.
And I was not beginning to feel like maybe he doesn't love me, or maybe he was just acting up just to get me.
I also felt that way too.
So what we now did was, as we got married, we had to be intentional about building our love tanks.
Yes.
So he found out that for me, I enjoy talking. He's an introvert. So what he now started doing was, okay, even though it might bore him to death, he just allows me to talk and I will talk and I'll talk.
Yes.
And eventually we began building our relationship better. So our expectations didn't really fall out the way we expected. Okay. But reality is even beautiful because beautiful about reality is it helps you tell others the truth.
The truth, yeah, which is what we're here to do today.
Yes. I think the very first expectation reality we had was our relationship with each other. Our romance wasn't as we thought it would be.
No, as you thought it should be.
It should be. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because we have this mindset that this is how romance should be.
Yes.
Every morning you bring breakfast to bed to me.
When last they bring breakfast to bed?
I don't sure it happen. Another reality I had too. I expected. My husband used to say, I can help you. Me, I'm a very handy man. I cook, I clean. I was happy. Better for me. A man that can cook and clean.
Life is easy.
So come and assist me. Say I'm working. I said, but you say you can help me. You used to do these things alone. But now we are married. So you now said, man, when we are not married, the bills are not this high.
Yes.
So now kids are coming. There's rent to pay. There's school fees. There are demands everywhere. So I need to work extra hours to meet up. Unlike before.
Yes.
So I think there's another reality that hits me that this man is not helping me. Doesn't mean he doesn't love me. Doesn't mean he lied before marriage that he can do those things. It's just that now he has more demands on him. and he needs to meet up.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure, he has to meet up. So that's one reality too that dawned on me. Another one is this sex you mentioned now. From my wedding night even, I had expectations that when we get married, we will be getting it. I now got married. That wedding night, my message started. So not even happened that night. I was angry. What kind of devil is this? Anyway, no wahala. 2-3 days later, I said, okay. After marriage, the first 1 year, we were trying. But now, sometimes a whole week self.
You have to plan yourself in advance.
I have to remind when last. He said, when last. The children will still come and knock on the door. Somebody will still come and sleep with us on the bed. So sometimes that sex, everyday sex, or is no longer there. And it doesn't mean we don't love each other.
Yes.
But we now have to consciously work on it so that it doesn't now become a norm. That
Yes.
So that's another reality that dawned on me.
I think one thing people misunderstand about sex is it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And for a lot of people or a lot of young people, they assume, like we said, because of the wrong mindset we had, that sex should be every day, it should be every time. But like we said, life. In fact, I've not heard of couples that have to. They had to create on their calendar timetable.
Yes,
Thank you.
I've heard of it.
And they tell themselves, no matter what happens. I know one thing that happened to me was after I gave birth, my body changed.
Okay.
And then I began to really struggle to have sex because the whole pain and everything. So we have to just tell ourselves that, let us not be deceived by what we see on movies. These people that are doing this in movie, they are doing to be paid. They are being paid for
how long is the movie? 2 hours movie?
Thank you.
Is it 5 years or 6 years of marriage? No.
So, okay, I think for me, another one was raising kids. Children. Because you realize that kids are not, we have this expectation that because we are adults, they should behave like us.
No, but they are not.
But children are different. Not. Children want to explore. Children want to be everywhere. Children are always talking. Like you understand what we are going through. Whether you're married or you're single, you're expecting a child, you need to prepare yourself for raising kids. Whatever, if you have a PhD raising kids before you got married, realize you're starting from kindergarten now. You have to start all over.
Reality will dawn.
It will dawn on you.
So another challenge I had or expectation I had before marriage was that in our church, you see more couples coming in to march, their kids will use some Ankara. I love it. I always said my husband and I, hey, when I got married, she doesn't wear Ankara.
That will hit you hard.
I said, what is Ankara? What is wrong with Ankara? Why? He said he's an IT guy. He works in media in church. I will not be wearing Abada. I said, no, there are other simple styles that are smart. He said, no. Somehow I said, no, Allah. I took his measurement. Went to a tailor, staying close to us. Saying, this is my husband's measurements. Measure him, make for him. We went to church the first Sunday. Later, he said it doesn't fit him. I said, it's fine. He does not wear it. My first daughter's dedication, I went to my market, bought material to match my own material, made for him. He bought suits and he wore suit on dedication day. I wore lace with Gilly. My husband wore suit.
I can imagine.
That's it. So imagine that I had so much expectations that I would be wearing to match, But entering into marriage, he said he doesn't do it. And people will say, didn't you talk about it for marriage? We talked about most of these things.
Is it everything?
Is it everything you remember? Everything.
You cannot.
Even if you talked about it and the person said yes.
How will you even talk about to match? Is that part of? Would that even affect your marriage? Yeah, it can affect some extent if you're not a wise person.
Yes. If I allow this to now affect me negatively, you don't love me, you don't want to look, we don't want us to look alike in public, it means something. No. I know that he doesn't like, he was not brought up that way. I was brought up to wear Ankara. My mother, she sells it as well. It's our Christmas clothes, we make different styles. Another reality that don't do me. As I don't mention sleeping now is, this Nollywood did not help us, mama. Nollywood, I used to always see couples sleep and wake up in the morning. Good morning, honey, how was your night? Then they go out. Another night, good night, they sleep together, put off the lights, close the duvet. I thought that's how it's supposed to be. But after we got married, sometimes my husband is in the sitting room here, working on the laptop. Even if he's in the bedroom, he's on the table working. We don't sleep at the same time. My husband works at night, and then by 4, 5, he wants to go to bed and wake up by 8. To now go out. Me, 9 o'clock, I want to sleep. To wake up by 4 and start getting the kids ready for school. So you can imagine those differences. While he's up at night working, me I'm sleeping. As he wants to go to bed, me, I'm waking up. So imagine if I allowed it to affect me. We're not sleeping together, we're not waking up together. Who will pay the bills?
That's the question.
So that's another reality that dawned on me after marriage.
I think you mentioned about waking up and sleeping. You know, it affects a lot of marriages. Mine too. My husband is, like you mentioned, my husband is a night person. I'm a morning person.
Yes.
Once it's 9 o'clock, like you mentioned, it's like they used to beat the gun. Go to bed, go to bed. And then my husband, that is when he's awake. So one way it affected us was, you know, I grew up seeing my parents always praying together, every single time praying together. And then I now get married. It is when I'm waking up, my husband is going to bed. I used to quarrel with him. I'll be like, come, we are Christian couple. We should model for our children. We need to create time to pray. See, I'm not saying we should not pray. We need to pray, but it might not work the way it worked in your home, your parents' home. I mean to say. So we just needed to find time, find a
middle ground,
compromise, a middle ground for us to meet. Yes.
Another reality that dawned on me after marriage was raising kids, as you mentioned. The way my husband was raised is 101% different from how I was raised.
Yes.
Jesus. My mom is a teacher, my dad is a teacher. So they used to bring that teaching home. You know, they use cane on students in school, they bring it home.
Yes.
My husband's home, you don't beat your children. Imagine, you know, it's not they say don't beat children. Imagine in that time, my in-laws don't beat their children. They don't shout on their children. You know, my father would shout on me both outside and inside. In fact, it's even outside that is worse, so that people will see that he's shouting on us, so that he can also shout on them. Hey, I received it hot. So I'm also seeing that in this marriage too, we have to discuss about how to raise the children.
Yes, very important. Very, very important.
If not, what person will look like, I love mommy more than I love daddy, or I love daddy more than I love mommy.
And you know, this you said is very true, because I've noticed it also. My first child, she's 5. So because she noticed I'm more of the disciplinarian,
she will run to daddy.
And then I'll give her an instruction. She will listen, say, okay, mommy. Then she'll go and meet her father and say, daddy, can I do this?
Oh, really?
And then because he's busy, just go and do it, He doesn't just want her to make
noise. Can you see how wise this kid?
So these children, they begin to set, and that's how home splits. They begin to set mother against father. So I talk to my husband and I say, see, we need to agree on how we raise these kids. If I give an instruction, even if it's not something you're comfortable with, let her do it.
Mommy say yes.
Let her do it. And then probably later we can discuss it. So that they'll see that we are one in front of them.
Oh, mama.
So kids have a way of, they're wise.
Very wise.
They're wise. So they get to see, if they see that this person is, and I've seen it in a lot of homes where the mother tends to, either the mother or the father tends to spoil the child.
Yes.
The other person that is trying to discipline the child is seen as the evil person. Yes. I mean, I think one final reality versus expectation I had was in-laws. So, you know, Nigerian movie tells us that in-laws are the most evil people.
Yes, mother-in-laws.
Mother-in-laws
have suffered though.
And forget of mother-in-laws tomorrow. So,
mother-in-laws have
I see part of those people that used to pray for their mother-in-laws to die.
I did not pray like that.
Okay. Thank God you're a good person. My mother-in-law is alive. My husband knows this. I told him that, you know, I was one of the first people, mother-in-law should be dead before.
But I watched a movie where a lady prayed that her mother-in-law should die before she gets married.
You know, people actually pray till today. I've seen people that do it. Until one day I was just sitting down. I was not married then. It was as if the Holy Spirit just reminded me clearly. If you're praying your mother-in-law should die before you get married.
How about you?
When you have a son, what if his wife prays the same prayer? I say, hey, it's true. This is like boomerang. So I now told myself, okay, it's possible that mother-in-laws might be evil. Let me just trust God to give me wisdom on how to do it. And that's what God did. So eventually I got married. And of course, we are coming, like you mentioned, upbringing is very different.
Very different.
I come from a home where when an instruction is given, you move. You move.
Yes. I even have another one.
You move. You don't sit down. And then that's how I expect it to be.
Everything to happen.
My parents-in-law train their children that when they tell them something, as far as you do, whenever you do it
can be done.
And then I got married. And I see, okay, my mother-in-law is talking to my husband, and then he'll be pressing his phone and do what he wants to do.
She's not angry.
Yes, what they have to do is like, what's your problem?
Mom is talking to you.
Mommy is talking. You're like, and so?
I've heard.
And so? So I have to tell myself, come on, your upbringing is different.
Very different.
And you know, we need to understand that nurture actually molds our nature.
It
molds our nature. So you're coming from a different family. It's coming from, even if both of you grew up in the same compound. If you grew up in the same house, as far your parents are living in one room, his parents are living in that room, the way they will train both of you is different. So if you eventually get married, realize that the way his life is will be different from yours. So talking about in-laws again. So what God did for me was, you know, there are times when there will be tendencies to want to have misunderstanding with your in-laws over some certain issues. They expect you to do things this way, you want to do it that way. So you need to just understand and trust God for wisdom on how to handle those issues. You can just post and say, okay, no problem, I've heard. And on that issue, you also need to learn how to manage is know what to say and what not to say.
And when to say
it. It's not everything. Now, I've seen situations where ladies get married and then maybe their mother-in-law says something to them they're not comfortable with. And the next thing they are spilling to their husbands. And then the husband is now put in between. He now has to choose between. So as a woman, you need to trust God for wisdom. It's not everything you say. And also learn not to take your matters to in-laws. Because the moment you carry your issues in your home, you've given them opportunity to decide what's happening in your house.
It's not good.
At all.
Don't even start it.
Don't even start it.
It's true.
Don't start it.
It's true. You know, so we are raised differently and so we behave differently. So in our marriages, we shouldn't make those differences break us. We shouldn't make those differences tear us apart. Rather, we should let it help us build a richer, you know, a more enriched home. So now we have the best of both worlds. Though these worlds have their own
imperfections.
Yes. Because in homes where kids are allowed to do as they like, most times the kids are so free, they make errors. Mom and daddy will not bother. In homes where they are too strict also, the kids pretend and want an atmosphere where they can now become free. And when they are free in a wrong place, they can do the most and do the hair. So we can now mend or blend these two characteristics,
and
these
two features,
and create a balance and have the best of both worlds.
That's true.
I've been so blessed. I've laughed and I'm so happy. It's like we should not end this video, but we don't want it to be too long because of our viewers. So any final words you have to share to soon to be bride and wives already?
Okay, so I think my final word is marriage is beautiful. Marriage is beautiful. You know, first institution God created was marriage. God didn't create the university, he didn't create the church. He created marriage institution first. Why? Because it's from homes that every other institution is formed. So you need to understand that the fact that you choose to be married today, you're not just choosing something that is out of place. You're actually going into God's purpose for your life. And you need to also understand that if you're choosing to go into God's purpose, you also need to understand that God has a blueprint, how he wants this purpose to be like. So you need to ask God how he wants your marriage to be like. Every marriage is unique. Of course, we know there are principles, but it's applications that are different. We have different applications. So for my own marriage now, the principle is we must love each other. That's a principle. But how we express our love now will be different. You understand? So understand that marriage is beautiful, number one. Understand that it's God's purpose. Understand that because it's God that created marriage, it's only through him. Yes, we've mentioned a lot of expectations we had, but I'm not saying you should be scared. But I'm only saying that you need to go into marriage prepared. Life will not be just like you have expectations for your life, but does it always happen that way? Does it always happen that way? So understand that God will help you. That's the long and short.
And so this brings us to the end of today's video. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed filming this video. Thank you for staying with us. We hope to see you again next time. Subscribe, like this video, and share it to your friends and family. And stay blessed always. Bye-bye.
Bye.